Following this Saturday's victory, a closer look into the eyes of Teofimo Lopez presents a total different picture than what he was reflecting outwardly. It's time to talk about the return of the Fakeover, a fighter that truly needs a real makeover. If Saturday night's victory, August 13th, Teofimo Lopez, when he took on Pedro Campa in his return fight since he had lost his titles to George Kambosos, if it told us one thing, it told us that we are in store for more of the same. More of the same that we see all the time regarding Teofimo. More of the rhetoric, more of the antics, more of the circus-like atmosphere that he brings to the sport of boxing whenever he comes out for a showing. After his defeat to George Kambosos, he had fallen off for a while, discreet. Then he came back with numerous reasons as to why he lost the fight. Everything from physical ailments to nearly being on the doorway of death. But most fighters, when they've been successful and they find themselves losing for the first time, they reach for answers. They look for, why did it happen to me? But they're always looking externally, reflecting outwardly, never looking within. And this is a man who definitely needs to look within, because if he were able to do so, he would notice that all fingers point right back at himself. Teofimo has been able to fight and have success in the sport of boxing with hand-picked opponents and with a little bit of backing and pushing by a network, not necessarily a promoter. He's not necessarily the prototype for a promoter. So what he brings to the ring is something that you're rolling the dice when you have a fighter like him. This Saturday's fight against Pedro Campa proved more of the same. Teo came out hesitantly, not confident, and it took him a while to get going against Campa. An unknown fighter to most of us. We hadn't seen Campa. We didn't know very much about him. But you best believe that the people setting this fight up for Teofimo knew who Campa was. And what was that? Hindsight being 20/20, a fighter who may not be able to hurt him, and that at some point he can find his confidence in the match and then begin to be the fighter that we have promoted and placed before the audiences prior to his loss to Kambosos. But this is the thing about that. A comeback win, get your feet wet again, and to return to the sport, that's all fine and dandy. But has he improved? That is something that wasn't answered. Or maybe it was. Because I noticed that in this fight, Campa was able to hit him with straight right hands. Teo still has that terrible habit of dropping his left near his knee and waving it around as if he thinks he's the next coming of Roy Jones Jr. But without Jones's power, without Jones's reflexes and speed, moot is the point against a quality fighter. The only thing that Campa wasn't able to do was have the mustard on the punch that could really expose his flaw in defense. But you know who was able to exploit that flaw? George Kambosos. Kambosos hit Teofimo with straight right hands throughout their fight, even dropping him in the first round of their battle. Kambosos is a typical straight-up boxer. Not a lot of power, but he has decent technique, and he's been in the gyms sparring regularly with the likes of now retired legendary fighter Manny Pacquiao. Now, what does this mean for Teo? It means that he still has a lot of work to do. Now, I'm willing to bet and believe that that's not getting done in the gym. From what I understand, his dad is overseeing everything that's going on with him. But where are the teachings? Where are the ability and knack to learn how to become a better fighter? How to shore up your defense? How to stop the bad habits? How to stay mentally strong and focused? Staying mentally strong and focused. That's another key point that this young man will have to face eventually. In the 140-pound weight division, there are a number of fighters and former champions who will test the now 18-1 with 14 KOs Lopez. He's the type of fighter that needs a test right now. He doesn't need soft touches. He doesn't need someone who's just going to lay down for him and let him look good. We want to see what he really has to offer. And I'm telling you, at 140, there's no place to hide. He may have evaded Devin Haney temporarily, because Haney will be moving up to 140 before you know it, probably before the end of next year. So where will Teo be? What will Teo be? Is he going to be a fighter who is competitive, spirited, title-driven, championship challenge-driven? That remains to be seen. But those are the type of things that you really need to be looking for, because that will be the true test of who he is as a fighter. I'm willing to believe that they're going to try to keep him safe against certain opponents, but it's going to be like walking through a landmine field, because there are a number of fighters at 140 that will be chomping at the bit to have him on the opposite side of them in the ring. They can make money, not necessarily because he's the box office draw, but because of his name and how he's been promoted. And if they have the opportunity to exploit that, they will look feverishly to do it, and do it as soon as possible. Because I'm telling you, the next quality fighter that he faces may be the next one to get the victory over him. And then after that, people will see him for who he truly is. This is Stormy B Man. Let me know what you think about what's in store for the Fakeover. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And leave comments. Tell me what you think about it, who he should face next. Is it going to be an easy ride? I don't think so. But if you want to see him in against the likes of Regis Prograis, Zepeda, Taylor, Ramirez, those are the fights that we want to see. Those are the fights that are going to challenge him. to the utmost. What do you think? I think that it is all written in the cards, and it's just a matter of time. The next time we see Teofimo Lopez out here, it'll be the next time that he may be facing defeat. Shout out to Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until the next time we meet, peace to everyone, and everyone remain safe.